Hi voters. I think this election is particularly unusual in that I believe the choice you got are very, very straightforward and very, very simple. You have, on the one hand, politicians, and when I've been speaking to people around the Strood and Rochester high streets, I find that most of you really are quite disenchanted with what the politicians have done and have brought our country quite close to bankruptcy. On the other hand, you've got myself. I'm not a politician, but I'm a scientist. And what I bring to you is the fact I will clear the SS Richard Montgomery wreck, which I've been trying to do so since 2007 and have failed to persuade the government because they've sent MI5 to keep me out of the press and media, and they've also sent Kent's special branch to my house to stop me embarrassing the government and the Kent police. In fact, I reminded them I am complying with the law, and both the government and the chief constables of Kent, Essex and the Metropolitan Police are breaking criminal law in not protecting the public from that wreck while that risk remains. This would be very important not just to the people of Rochester and Strood, also to the people of Swale, Sheerness, and now, because we've got the LNG facility on the Isle of Grain with 1 million cubic metres of liquid natural gas well within the danger zone of the SS Richard Montgomery, there is the potential that the Montgomery, if it did explode, from any of the reasons stated by the Department for Transport that it could, it would also demolish the surface silos, vaporise the gas, and when mixed with 4 times its mass of oxygen in the air, would create a blast equivalent to 160 Hiroshima nuclear bombs. If that wasn't enough, it would remove all the oxygen from the ground upwards to several thousand metres, which would take at least 30 minutes to clear, depending upon meteorological and wind conditions. The combination of those two effects, if you weren't killed by the blast, you would be killed by the most poisonous gas cloud that was ever created by man, would now likely kill us all in the southeast of England, including Her Majesty the Queen. And so, if you elect me in public, I will be drawing David Cameron to the attention that he will be getting a writ in the High Court to answer not just for breaking these laws, to actually expose the public to the risks which he should not he should have complied with, but also treason. This, ladies and gentlemen, would make both the Labour and Conservative governments totally unelectable in the future. This is how serious it is. When I've heard the delightful Labour young candidate, she seems to forget that Tony Blair lied to Parliament, lied to the public, lied to the world, and lied to Her Majesty the Queen. I think that makes Labour unelectable now, and I would be very shocked if I found anyone voting for Labour, because I'd like to see that candidate would lose their deposit. On the other hand, we have Kelly Tolhurst, and she says we've turned the corner, it's getting better and better and better. It's the same old Tory song we've heard too many times to believe, and the only person of credibility I've seen in the hustings, in which us independents are not invited, so we can't challenge the other candidates on the table, was Clive Gregory. And when he pointed out the most serious problem facing us all is the mounting horrendous debt that we're building up day by day from our borrowings to try and keep the UK going. But all that went over the head of the Labour and Conservative candidates. But I agree totally with what he said. And I leave it to you to decide whether you think it's the government that's let the United Kingdom down over the years, whether they've been Labour or Conservative, where we've lost all our industries, car building, shipbuilding, aircraft manufacture, steel industry, and even coal industry. And we're now becoming a second to third class member of the world stage. I think so many with expertise have been cast asunder by these governments. And if you give me your vote, I can assure you I will thump the table and turn around what has been now years and years of total government incompetence and irresponsibility. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that when you are in the booth, you think of your children, your grandchildren, and their grandchildren to come, and you choose the world-leading scientist to clear all those bombs on that wreck and have that wreck rebuilt as a tribute to the 2,751 ships the Americans built for us during World War II, without which we would have lost World War II, and very likely every Jew would have been rounded up and killed. So you've got a very easy choice, I think. And if you vote for me, I won't let you down. I'll keep my promise, and I will risk my life and that of my team to make sure that you're all safe. Thank you very much.